Hey, this is Nola Ada, and you are now rocking with ILL McKenzie, right here.
What up, world? It's your man 504 Detroit. You already know every Tuesday, every Thursday, I'm tuned in to the hottest radio station across the land, Quarantine Radio. They put it down and they play all the hottest new music. Let's get it.
It's your boy Gabe, and I want to give a big shout out to Quarantine Radio. Make sure you check them out every Tuesday and every Thursday. And thank you for supporting my new single, Down Low.
I want to hear that new soul-free wisdom on Quarantine Radio.
Yo, what's up, man? It's the kid Swift, a baby. Young Swift. One time for the check-in with my dog, my homie, ILL McKenzie. Straight out of ATL, Georgia. And you know how we rocking out here, baby. Let's get it.
I tried being humble. I tried being humble. I tried being humble. Humble get no respect.
Yes, it's your boy iDub once again with another. Yes, it's your boy iDub once again with another edition of Quarantine Radio. Tonight on the show, as I've been telling everybody, we have a panel full of hold on one moment. We have a panel full of women and men discussing love in this era. Is it difficult? Why is it so difficult? Or is it just people need to go back to the old methods and everything? So I'm gonna play a couple songs and then we're gonna come in, chop it up, discuss all that and everything. But to go over everything else with everybody, what's going on with Quarantine Enterprise? March 16th, as I've been telling y'all, we have the Rock the Shamrock event going on at Club Nor. We actually have one of our artists that's actually going to be there, Kenny McGiver. I know most people remember him coming on the show. He's right here at the end of the panel. He's going to be rocking it out. We have an all-star panel going on for that. We have Justin Times, Ramon Soul. I actually is finishing up his music video. I know people have been seeing me doing clips of his music video, finally free. So be on the lookout at that for the middle of February. We also have the Fat Boy. We have Venomous and Snipe Luciano. I feel like I'm missing somebody from that lineup. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned Justin Times. So we I have 6 people on my actual my set for that event. That's leading up to the event in July 28th. That's going to be for the community. So if y'all want more information about that, just go to my Facebook page, our business page, facebook.com/Quarantine Enterprise. We also have a event coming up with the showroom. Is actually have an event this Saturday at 12 noon at Glenwood Club, 3300 Women's Club Drive in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a bridal show. Especially like we're discussing love today, so like any young couples that's about to get married or they're engaged and everything, you can go up to that bridal show. We actually have tickets at the showroom if you want to come to here. For tickets, you can call 919-880-2625 or visit musicandmotiondjs.net. So those are a different couple of ways that you can actually get tickets for the bridal show this upcoming Saturday at 12 o'clock noon to 3 p.m. Eastern time. All right. So other than that, we got a couple of things going on. Might speak on it a little bit later. This weekend we had the Super Bowl. I'm most likely not going to speak about that this time. But yeah. It's just a lot going on, but other than that, we're going to actually dipping into some music. I'm not going to probably play a lot of music today because just going to go over everything as far as what everybody's concern is and stuff like that on the topic. And also, if you want to chime in, you can also chime in at. You can chime in on Facebook Live. I will be looking on there periodically. You can go on Spreaker.com, enter the chat room, or you can direct message me on because I periodically go on Snapchat and Instagram as well, so you can periodically hit me up on there as well to talk about how you feel about topics or what they're discussing in the session as well. Other than that, I'm about to go into an exclusive track. Just got this from Venomous. Venomous is like I said, is one of the people that's actually going to be performing at our Rock the Shamrock event. So Venomous, this is a new track from her just released this week called Far Away. This is Venomous with Far Away featuring Lyric G. This is Venomous Far Away featuring Lyric G. Alright?
Sometimes we on the love track. Just let me talk to you for a second. Listen. Yeah. We used to say it's us against the world. Fell in love way before I was your girl. Combos on the Skype, talking late night. Kiss you like I mean it when we out on date night. You my little vixen, what you like to say. Kinda shy till I'm showing off that negligee. I cried for you every time you had to walk away. I tried harder even when you said you couldn't stay. Close my eyes, now we laying on the beach. Lotion on my thighs, hands on my peach. I'm the student, man, I love it when you teach. Even when I travel, I ain't never out of reach. Kept it classy, but my mind in the gutter. Matching furs, matching kicks in the summer. Love it when you tell me that no one can come above her. A diamond in the rough when she shine like no other, yeah.
Baby, where you wanna go? Tell me. Anywhere, just let me know. We'll go far away from here. We'll make everything alright. Baby, where you wanna go? Tell me. Anywhere, just let me know. We'll go far away from here. Far away. We'll make everything alright.
You always used to say I was your goddess. I don't share much, but I kept it honest. Kept me smooth in the water, so I'm polished. I ain't never stressed, cause you kept me well acknowledged. Was thicker than the thieves in the night. More than just your hand, played your left and your right. Living like a movie where we flying through the night. Fresh out the gate, chicks is rude out of spite. And I ain't even noticing the bras. I'm snapping passports, collecting my awards. Busy trying to make my ends and open doors. Texting from my show when I'm out of all these tours. I never seem to think that it would end. Signals getting crossed, now he mad at me again. No matter what, I just hope you comprehend. Daydreaming on this flight, wish that I was home again. Come on.
Baby, where you wanna go? Tell me. Anywhere, just let me know. We'll go far away from here. Far away. We'll make everything alright. Far away from here. Far away. We'll make everything alright.
Yeah. Venomous. Lyric G.
Tell me what you want, babe.
You know.
Anyway, just let me know.
Sometimes it's like that.
Far away from here. Yeah. We'll make everything
She say she need an alibi. Let's get away and rock it by. I need you, yeah. Lady, you a dime piece. With you, I throw away my timepiece. I wanna spend time with you. 'Cause you a pretty
was when I seen her. Brown eyes, brown skin, long hair, dream girl. Looking at my roster, I need that on my team, girl. And now ain't no denying that. You automatically a starter, ain't no lying that. Looking for a minute, trying to figure where you hiding at. I got the spot off Linux, we can stop and do the signing there. I know you got a man, girl, but he ain't in the plan, girl. See, look at what I'm saying, girl. We can hit the beach and sip mojitos in the sand, girl. I know the Lord tested me. That's why I'm at you so aggressively. No flexing, I want you sitting next to me. We look good, baby. You my sexiest accessory.
She say she need an alibi. Let's get away rockabye. I need you, yeah. Lady, you a dime piece. With you, I throw away my time, please. I wanna spend time with you. Cause you a pretty girl. 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 I need you.
Listen, look, I got plans to leave. Throw the keys to my man Tweet. I ain't trying to make this trip alone. Know you gotta do is the move. Listen, chick, I'm wrong. Get you in that whip, pay the rent in a different home. Put you on to something you ain't used to. You hear that a lot, nah, I ain't trying to juice you. I just wanna boost you, help you understand your worth and that nigga that you with, throw the deuce to. You a pretty girl, I said Diddy girl, class of your own, can't compare to just any girl. I'm wanting you here with me, girl, trying to make you mine, so I'm done playing friendly, girl. Cause that brain and that body, I could do some things with that shouting. Got a couple thoughts I'd share, but they mainly you're not, it can't front. Listen, babe, you a hottie, pretty girl.
She say she need an alibi. Let's get away and rockabye. I need you, yeah. Lady, you a dime piece. With you, I throw away my time, please. I wanna spend time with you. Cause you a pretty girl. 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 I need you. Cause you a pretty girl. 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 I need you.
I never end in fairy tale, I know the ending very well. But I control my fate, and when I see your face, I wanna lock you down like an inmate. Don't care what your friends say, all bent out of shape. We can make it last, we can make it last. Forget about your exes, we can leave them in the past. Looking at your body like I'm working on a task. You $1 billion cash, I just throw it in the bag. Whatever you want, haters hate, but we can do whatever we want. Bye-bye, go kick rocks, we in a drop. And we off to the spot, the love of my life, what you thought. And I'ma keep her at all costs. Diamonds on her necklace, we all floss. I got it on my arm, yeah, I see y'all lost. Good ones come and go, but you gotta know what's worth fighting for in this world. So, give a chance, take you by the hand, show you life's good. Just put me in your plans, I can make you feel good, make you feel great, make you feel safe when it gets late. I never end in love, you can never get enough of.
Crazy when the one you want thinks you want everyone but her. Truth is, I already see your last name replaced with my sir. All I gotta do is make your vision on blur, while I make a tunnel vision of you and I. Truth is, you the only one catching my eye. Why would I lie? Matter of fact, don't even reply. I know I ain't your typical guy. Plus, you might have heard about my past. The girls back then, they never last. But I'm trying to make you my last. Last kiss, last one I give my heart to. The one I watch walk down the aisle to say I do. Murder be my best man, making sure I don't tear up when I hold your hand. Kissing your lips, sealing till death do us.
Good ones come and go, but you gotta know what's worth fighting for in this world. So, give a good chance, take you by the hand, show you life's good. Just put me in your plans, I can make you feel good, make you feel great, make you feel safe when it gets late. I never end in love. You can never get enough of.
Tell me how you feel. I can read the signs. Making your mind up where you will wind up. Too late 'cause your time's up, yeah. And maybe without him, I can't say you're wrong. It's too much to figure out. Arguing, fussing, fighting while the kids are home. Love would all feel better if the two of you ride. And I can guarantee that time heals all pain, but who am I to judge those tears? Be careful what you say, because these words can come to life. And let the truth be told. Hey, I should be a number one, number one, number one. I should be a number one, number one, number one.
I should be your number one, girl. I should be your number one, girl.
I should be a number one, number one, number one. I should be a number one, number one, number one.
I should be your number one, girl. I should be your number one, girl.
Concrete with the rose, the image of your heart. But the memories stick with reflections of the time, and the time will still go by. And now that he's gone, it's all in your hands. Remember, you don't have to love again. Hey, I should be a number one, number one, number one. I should be a number one, number one, number one.
I should be your number one, girl. I should be your number one, girl.
I should be a number one, number one, number one. I should be a number one, number one, number one.
I should be your number one, girl. I should be your number one, girl.
I won't stop until I get enough. I'm so thankful that I found your love. And baby, you got all of my trust. I won't stop until I get enough. I'm so thankful that I found your love. And baby, you got all of my trust. I should be a number one, number one, number one. I should be a number one, number one, number one.
I should be your number one, girl. I should be your number one, girl.
I should be a number one, number one, number one. I should be a number one, number one, number one.
I should be your number one, girl. I should be your number one, girl.
I want to hear that new soul-free wisdom on Quarantine Radio.
Can you tell me I'm the only one? Tell me I'm the only one.
I've always been scared of love. I never had anyone to show me what it was. Then out of nowhere, baby, you came. Where did you come from? But I have always been more comfortable with pain. So when you pull me, I push. You say you want me, so what? I got my guard up. It's time. I'm not in no rush. When I say go, please stay. Want you to fight for me all the way. It's not ain't your fault that I've been swayed. With you, I mean enough for you to not give up. Tell me I'm the only one. Show me that it's okay to give in. Tell me I'm the only one. Show me that you'll be here till the end. Tell me I'm the only one. Please don't break my heart. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me I'm the only one. A lot of niggas out here think it's cool to have a main and a side and a wife. Oh no. Let me make it myself real clear. I'm the only one you need in your life. I'ma give you all of me. Wanna have all of you. I don't wanna share with the world, and I know what I deserve as your girl. Tell me I'm the only one. Show me that it's okay to give in. Tell me I'm the only one. Show me that you'll be here till the end. Tell me I'm the only one. Please don't break my heart. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me I'm the only one. Show me that it's okay to give in. Tell me I'm the only one. Show me that you'll be here till the end. Tell me I'm the only one. Please don't go breaking my heart. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me I'm the only Tell me I'm the only one. I better be the only one.
Got music, and I'm rocking with my dude ILL McKenzie on Quarantine Radio every Tuesday and Thursday. Yo, I appreciate this support.
Oh la la la. All through the night. I wish I never knew. Oh la la la. Wish we never would. All through the night. All day long I've been sitting here thinking about you. And every time we hooked up in that room, from the way you walk, the heels you wore, and the lingerie, playing that old school, that Shirley Murdoch dance we laid. My girl, I'm on my case. She like, what's wrong with you? Every time I see her face, girl, it's you I picture. Ooh, wishing you were my chick. I wish you never sent that pic with no clothes in that pose, so exposed, made me overdose. Girl, you got that. Wishing I can call you babe. I wish you never gave me that cake. It's the way it flows, it's so dope, like a freak show, make me overdose. Girl, you got that. She don't even know. She don't even know. They don't even know. Just as we go. And whenever I want it, we find a way to. Oh la la la. Early in the morning, in the middle of the day, all through the night. I call her the name she likes. She like, what you doing? What you doing? I be holding her so tight. Girl, it's you I'm feeling. Ooh, I'm wishing you were my chick. I wish you never sent that pic with no clothes in that pose, so exposed, made me overdose. Girl, you got that. Ooh, wishing I can call you babe. I wish you never gave me that cake. It's the way it flows, it's so dope, like a freak show, make me overdose. Girl, you got that. Girl, my body craving. You got me hallucinating. My mind tripping. Tunnel vision. All I can see is you. Selfies in your birthday suite. I'm intoxicated, all off track. Girl, you got that. Ooh. I'm wishing you were my chick. I wish you never sent that pic. With no clothes, in that pose. So exposed, make me overdose. Girl, you got that. Wishing I can call you babe. I wish you never gave me that cake. It's the way it flows. It's so dope. Like a freak show. Make me overdose. Girl, you got that. Wish I never knew. Wish we never knew. Oh la la la. All through the night.
It's been a minute since I've been in this position. When you walked into my life, you changed my heart's disposition. Used to say, what's love got to do with it? Was falling apart, but you became the glue to my heart. Now I'm feeling like this is it, and I don't even have to think about it. As we grow closer, I see a future. If we're gonna be forever, I better get myself together. So I'm putting away my running shoes. The bus stops with you, can't lie. Cause you make me wanna try to give my all, because love won't leave me alone. I tried to hide, I tried to run. You call me baby, now I'm done searching. You got me, cause your love won't leave me alone. So sexy, so persistent. Ooh, you never gave up and let me keep you from showing me all that you are. There's something in your touch. Your kiss and hug, lethal baby, drives me crazy. I can see myself having you, baby. I'm just saying it's serious. All I ever think about is us. Every other night I get good love. Oh, and it's so amazing. You're a dream come true that I'm never wanting to end. You're my new beginning, why I'm smiling, and it's so exciting, cause love won't leave me alone. I tried to hide, I tried to run. You call me baby, now I'm done searching. You got me, cause your love won't leave me. Baby, your love, it won't leave me alone. I tried to hide, I tried to run. You call me baby, now I'm done searching. You got me, cause your love won't leave me alone. You put that pressure on me. Said no, but I let you take me in your arms. Now here I am singing love songs about the way you work that magic. Had to have it all in my life. And this is why your love, it won't leave me alone. I tried to hide, I tried to run. You call me baby, now I'm done searching, because your love, baby, your love won't leave me alone. I tried to hide, I tried to run. You got me, baby, now I'm done searching. You got me, cause your sweet love won't leave me alone.
My imagination's been running wild. Can't seem to turn the noise down from the crowd. Keep wondering how things will be when you come around and sweep me off my feet. what I want and all I want is you. You got that kind of love that make me wanna improve. What I'm gonna do, baby, I choose you. Baby, I choose you. You're the lucky one. I'm feeling love. Just hit that 21. I'm feeling love. Our years have just begun. I'm feeling love. Like you're the one. I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like. No fake IDs, no perpetrating. I know it's real, cause now they hating. Yeah, I'm feeling so lucky. Yeah, I know it's a gamble. Ain't nothing we can't handle, cause you got what I want and all I want is you. You got that kind of love to make me wanna improve. What am I gonna do? Baby, I choose you. Baby, I choose you. My lucky one. I'm feeling love. Just hit that 21. I'm feeling love. Our years have just begun. I'm feeling love. Like you're the one. I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like. Waiting on you. Baby, I'm waiting on you. Waiting, baby, I'm waiting on you. Waiting on you, baby, I'm waiting on you. Waiting, baby, I'm waiting on you. I'm feeling love. Just hit that 21. I'm feeling love. Our years have just begun. I'm feeling love. Like you're the one. I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like. Just hit that 21. Our years have just begun. Like you're the one. I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like 21. Like you're the one. 21.
I don't got no cape on my shoulders, but if you give me a chance, I can show you something extraordinary that no other man has ever done for you. I help you understand. See, my disguise is a 9 to 5, and I do something so amazing I ain't gotta fly. Forget an S on my chest, I make you say I'm better than the rest. Because it's like I leave buildings in a single bag, and my love will never bring you down. Guarantee it's what you need, but somehow you got me weak and weak. It's like you got a power over me. Make me wanna get down on my knees. You make me wanna break up to make up, and you're the kryptonite I run to every night. It's like you got a power over me. Make me wanna get down on my knees. You make me wanna break up to make up, and you're the kryptonite I run to every night. You make me wanna sing. Now I know you know I'm the best around, and when we make love, you bring my defenses down. That's extraordinary that no other girl could ever do to me. So in other words, you don't ride around with no black mask. I'd call you super, but I think that you surpassed that. Your secret's safe with me, don't ever guess. So go ahead, throw that S on your chest. Because it's like you leave buildings in a single bed, and your love will never bring me down. Girl, I see it's what I need. That's why you got me weak in the knees. It's like you got a power. Make me wanna get down on my knees. You make me wanna break up to make up. And you're the kryptonite I run to every night. It's like you got a your hands together. Just clap, clap with me. If you got that green love that'll last forever, just clap, clap with me. If you know like I know, let it be known. Hold that love close to you and never let it go. Ladies, look into the eyes of your lover, and fellas, sing along if you love. It's like you got a power over me. Make me wanna get down on my knees. You make me wanna break up. So make up and you're the kryptonite. You got that kryptonite every night. It's like you got a power over me. Make me wanna get down on my knees. You make me wanna break up. So make up and you're the kryptonite. I run to every night. You make me wanna lie. I run to every night. And you're the kryptonite. I run to every night. And you're the kryptonite. I run to every night. And you're the kryptonite. I run to every night. You make me wanna lie. I run to every night. And you're the kryptonite. I run to every night. And you're the kryptonite. I run to every night. And you're the kryptonite. I run to every night.
But me. That's right. No one but me. You say he don't treat you like I treat you, but you the one told me to leave you. Told you I go get a deal, so you had to see a meal before you could believe. Now you so lonely now when I see you. I be everywhere with my people. We go out to eat and get 1,000 drinks. They'll never decline my visa. Won't that you said I won't gon' be shit. Yep, that was you that said that. But this Benz here ain't no leasing like that Benz never taking you back. I know I will always be on your mind, and I won't lie. You was so fine, but I got over your ass in no time. Good God.
Is my number in your phone still?
Hey, baby.
When you said I never make it,
Was that you that said that?
I saw the chance I had to take
it. And I do it again in a heartbeat. All these fans that's following, all these women who be modeling. All I do is sit ignore when you calling me. Do you dream of me when you fall asleep? Every night with a different man partying. Well, I'm living my dreams like I thought I'd be while I'm wide awake. Ironically, in the top floor, in a baller suite with my new girl staying all week. You in the same accord on your second kid, 2 baby daddy, 2 car seats. Guess I will always be on your mind, and I won't lie. You was so fine, but I got over your ass in no time. My God.
Is my number in your phone still?
Still got it.
When you said I never make it, I saw the chance I had to take.
I had to.
It. I'd do it again.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Again. And again.
I do it.
I do it. And again. And again. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, so this is how it feels when regret just gets so real. When the pages of your story go so wrong, you just can't deal. When you let your insecurities just get so damn strong, they build a wall around your heart so fucking tall that you can't feel and you can't see and you can't hear me when I tell you just be patient. But I guess it's all my fault for placing my faith in the faithless. I really hope that you find God or something you can believe in and see there's more to life than Louis bags the first weekend. You needed this. I really hope you find peace at some point.
We're back. I did an extended music break because, as I stated before, most likely we're just going to go into the discussion and just not have any pauses or breaks in between.
People kind of reflect on who you choose to be with and also who you choose to be. So you hear the men we choose, it's not just about, oh, I don't like men. Like, you are a man. I hope you love yourself. You like yourself. So that's why you do like men, because you love yourself. It's not just about a romantic type of love or interaction. It's more about recognizing the characteristics of different individuals. And this book right here describes 27 different personalities, from the shy, meek, and humble to the known hoe, to self-righteous, to the spiritual man. There's a comparison on page 55 of a father versus the previous writing, which is the baby daddy. A lot of men actually took to the book and found a lot of revelation about who they were, who they used to be, and how they evolved. And a lot of women actually came to a lot of reconciliation about their choices and the type of person they want to go into. So that's a little synopsis about the book. It's written using poetry and prose, old school writing, because heavy content, but the way it's written, it really flows. And so the Men We Choose, again, available on Amazon and my Facebook page, facebook.com/path to you. And you can Google me, ACQUILLAFAYE. And this book is under Acquilla Semebu, SEMEBOU. And just side note, I do the cover too.
My name is Nathaniel J Petekins. I'm a 25-year-old CEO and founder of TrackFit USA, a personal life coach, as well as a student and a new author. My book is called Stay Woke, Finding Love. And basically what it's about is, my parents really don't know, but in 2014 they bought me a journal for my birthday, and that's actually how the book started. And the book itself is about the concept of the broken black man. My target audience is women. And it deals with showing men how to appreciate women, but also at the same time letting black women are the closest thing to God. They are the strongest creatures walking the earth. And at the same time, it also tries to allow black men to see that a lot of times we have to do a lot of introspection and self-actualization and soul-seeking in order to reach a higher level of edification and ethics to our success. And so through that, it's a very easy read. It's a 7-chapter book. And I think that people will get a lot out of it if they meditate on it and they actually take what the book says into consideration. I'm not a religious man. I'm a very spiritual man. But in the book, I do make a comment that in order for a man to receive a Proverbs type woman, he has to be that Hebrew type man. And in order for the Proverbs type woman and the Hebrews type man to actually be beneficial as a couple, they have to be an Ephesians type couple and actually follow God. And I try to do my best to break down barriers and stereotypes.
Alright. Seemed like I might have lost internet connection, so I'm not exactly sure when the broadcast broke up, but it is back on. I had to re-uplink the Facebook Live, so I did put that up, but I don't know if y'all tweet that back out and everything. But the first thing that I wanted to discuss about open discussion with everything. Most of the times, one of the things that affect people, because I took a psychology class, and we all know that sometimes people's environment kind of affects them, and some people grow up a certain way, and that affects them as an adult, how they were upbringing and everything. So what I wanted to bring up on to the panel and everything, like, how do you feel as far as on the female side? Because like a lot of people say the female's first love is their father. How do you feel about the females that actually are brought up without the father figure, and how it affects them as in their relationship of finding a man?
Who wants to go in a particular order?
Whoever wants to talk first. It's a hard topic.
You said the impact of a sister when she does not have a father.
Yeah, because like you'll see, like I know some men, they are actually notice it. Like some females, like when they're growing up and they start dating, they're missing that piece, or they are more broken and everything. And like it's sometimes if they find the right man, they're able to build them up. But if they find the wrong man, it kind of breaks them down and brings out that insecurity. So yeah, that kind of damaged them for other previous men down the line, and they kind of build that wall. Do you think that is one of the effects?
Okay. It's so much in that question. Right. So I'm gonna kind of break it down. So one, having a father, not having a father. For me, I think the most important is the type of father that is, and the type of male role model it is. Because if you have a father who's abusive, that's just as bad as not having a father, but it's still damaging. So just having a man there is not sufficient. It's the type of example, the type of love and care that he provides, the type of support he provides, and the level of acceptance that he provides to his daughter, as well as his sons, because that's going to be watched by other young ladies and other young men who grow up into adults. As far as not having a father there, period, if there is a male there who loves that young lady, whether it's a grandfather, an uncle, whoever, who sincerely cares about her and provides her with some type of support, then she's going to understand what actual love looks like and feels like versus trying to search for it and figure it out, because she's going to have a level of completeness within herself from being told that she's already beautiful, she's already awesome, she's already all of these things. And so the next part of your question with a broken woman, I don't really say people are broken. I think people nowadays do not like the word healed, Heal, and the word help, Health, has heal as the root. So your health is based on healing. It's not based on medicating, coping, or moving through something. And a lot of times we just try to do that in any scenario, male or female. And women being the carriers of light is so important and vital that we understand the healing process of admitting our feelings, our emotions, our sadness, our happiness, our grief, our anger, and that society recognizes that any person has the right to express their feelings and go through any situation. So that's my perspective on that. I don't think it's the father being there or not being there. It's more who's supporting her from that influence and the seeds they sow in her for them to grow.
Anybody else have anything to say about that topic?
It's okay. Speak. Speak. You want to know.
I wanted to tread lightly, but piggybacking off of what she said, I really don't think it matters, like she said, if the father is there or not. If he's there physically, but he's absent spiritually, then she's gonna lack something spiritually in terms of wanting a man or what she can receive from that man. If her father's there spiritually, but he's lacking physically, he's not showing up, and that's something she's gonna be lacking also. And also answering your other question, I do agree. You know, brokenness is a concept that men have kind of came up with and ran with, but no one is ever really broken in a sense. We're just really lacking introspection. You know, and a lot of times if a woman is missing something and it's because of a father's not in her life, she's not really in touch with her feminine energy. And what I've learned is that feminine energy is the source of life and creation. And if she's not in touch with her feminine energy, then she's not going to be able to be fruitful in anything that she does. So it's not a matter of it coming from brokenness. It's a matter of it coming from, I don't want to call it a generational curse, but it's an act of not knowing oneself through not being nurtured and handled properly through growing up in certain stages.
Okay. Anybody else got any? Okay. Well, just piggybacking off of what he said, because I read this on one post a female had wrote, and it said that we don't care about emotional disconnected males over 26. Now find a therapist. So how do y'all feel about that? Just breaking off on what he actually.
Repeat that again. We don't care about who. We don't care about.
This female said we don't care about emotional disconnected males over 26. It told them to find a therapist.
I would want to say that for someone to think that way, I'm not going to say it's ignorant, but it shows a lack of character and a lack of morals. One thing that I point out in my book is that, you know, men only understand one type of energy, which is masculine energy. It's the source of boundaries and dominion and dominance. And that's all black men have been conditioned to know and to learn and to thrive off of due to post-traumatic slave disorder. And a man is irrational or he's obsessive, or he's detached because he's not in touch with his feminine energy. And in order for a man to actually evolve and be the king that he's supposed to be, he has to be in touch with both. So it's not a matter of if a man is detached, it doesn't make him any less of a man. If anything, it makes him more of a man because he's actually going through a process of evolution. And so I don't think, that man will need a therapist. If anything, he needs to have some introspection and some soul seeking and actually be around a person who doesn't think like that. I think that's actually detrimental to that man's success as an individual and as a spirit. If a person actually takes the time to study a man rather than judge a man, I think they will learn more about that spirit rather than the actual physical being that they see in front of them.
Okay.
Just listening to that, I feel like that's coming from a person who lacks compassion. For one, you don't know what that person is going through, whether it be male or female, but since in this case she said male, we're going to say male. We don't know what that male has gone through. We don't know what has happened in his life, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. You don't know. So for you to say, well, you're over 26, go find a therapist. I mean, you don't know. That could be something that's just make that man want to kill himself right then and there. So for you to say something like that, I mean, think about it. What if you were married, 40 years old? This happens to your husband. He's over 26. You're going to tell your husband to go find a therapist? As you said, that's going to, a statement like that is going to not help this man get back to where he needs to be. So, and since we're, on a relationship theme, as me as a black man, I would hope that my queen would be able to help me rise back to where I need to be. Amongst whatever I need to do to get myself back, I hope that she's going to be my rock to help me get back there. So, that's my
Hey. I'm going to agree with what all of you said. One thing that I will say is, of course, there is a stigma in the Black community, especially about getting the help that you need. So I would not throw that young man or grown man, however old you are, and just say, go get a therapist. As a woman, like you said, you should be that support. And you should be able to say, I recognize where you're weak. I recognize where you lack that strength, and here I am to step in and be that person for you. Not just throw you off to a therapist. I'm here with you to support you, and if we need to go together, then that's what we'll do. But I'm not just going to throw you to the wolves. I'm not going to let a stigma regarding mental health stop you from getting the help that you need, but I'm also not going to leave you alone. So, Black woman's take.
I got one on this because I'm kind of currently going through this situation. Like me growing up, just as a man in my environment, I was taught not to show feelings or anything like that my entire life. So as you get older, like things start breaking down and you start to like not be able to keep it in anymore. So it's like sometimes a woman needs to just listen and pay attention to what's going on because, we all need help, everybody, especially now with just the way the world is in society. Everybody's going through depression, but trying to keep that in. You know what I'm saying? And you may not know what another person going through. They may be able to hide it well, so just going through a therapist, and like you said, it's a stigma for us, like, getting help, you don't want to seem crazy or nothing like that, but, we all need someone to listen, and it would be very beneficial if, your queen or your woman was to listen, rather than just throwing you off and saying, oh, go get a therapist,
And where do you come up with this age limit to get help? Like, oh, you're 26, here's your cutoff. You gotta go get help now. Like, who came up with that?
We did. Alright, so from that comment, it reminded me of chapter 26 in my book called Mr. Unemotional. And then everybody kind of touched on it. Y'all don't mind, I want to share it. I ain't gonna read the whole thing. It says, there are some men who have no feelings. At least that's how they seem. or society has groomed him to never reveal the way he feels. Imagine growing up being told you have to play it tough, not to trust anyone, never let your guard down. But you are a man and no one cares to understand you. No one will give you a handout. Everything you want, you must work for and more. If you meet a woman, don't get too close. For many times, women will play you for what they want. As a man, he has learned the art of hiding his feelings, the art of acting as if they don't exist. Internally, they are there. He wants to share, but the idea of someone really caring has never been there. When it was, or so we thought, the person just wanted to get him caught up in their net of deception, to just penetrate his walls to see him fall. And that's what that young lady reminded me of, is a lot of times women get so tough on men. And I'm raising a young man, my son's 9. He's a very sensitive young man. And I'm a very tough woman. So it's kind of like the opposite, where like, normally the mom's like, oh, baby. Oh, I'm more like, yo, really? Like, come on, like, it's a cat. He's like, but mommy, the cat had kittens, and I just want to take them in the house. I'm like, you're so loving, and I hope you stay that way, and I'm going to be protective of any woman, girl, whatever you bring around, because he's that loving, open, caring young man. But I make sure that I don't crush it, because so many men get crushed. And like we said, that age limit, I work with over 1,500 different people, and there's no age limit on needing help. Mental health is mental health, and sometimes you don't have the ability, and somebody who's with you doesn't have the capacity to provide you with what you need, the support you need, or maybe some of the strategies that can help. But that love heals. Love heals. That's one of the key things I tell people. Love will move mountains. And while that love will move mountains, sometimes you do need extra assistance with that love so that you can go through those processes. And other times that hug might just be enough for you to say, oh, wow, I'm tripping. You know? So I think she was way out of line with that.
Okay. Anybody else got anything you want to say on that topic?
I'm gonna add one more thing. I don't know if that young lady is watching or listening, but I would want to say that I think women, or black women in general, some do not. I think they underestimate their power. A woman has enough power. A black woman has enough power to help a man ascend to his kingly role or his kingly nature. But she also has enough power to snatch everything from money. And I think that when women are not fully aware of that, they become dangerous. And they become dangerous because they're able to touch a man in a way that nobody else can. And if they touch him in the wrong way, he's either going to relapse or she's going to set him back a whole different level than where he's supposed to be. And I would want to encourage every man, if you're actually detaching yourself from women, then that means you're detaching yourself from part of the world. And you're really not going to be able to be fruitful and grow in anything that you do if you're detaching. If you're detaching from women, you're detaching from the world, and you're detaching from the Most High. It doesn't matter if you call him Allah, Jah, Amin Ra, whoever, the universe, God. If you're detaching from a woman, or you're detaching from your emotions, you're detaching from your spirit, and that's the source of your spirit. So I think, that's something to definitely keep in mind, especially with women. Men, black men, we have a hard time of kind of not like knowing where we fit in. Like, we've been taught to be in the fields and work hard, and that's mostly all that we know how to do. We know how to work hard. We know how to go out there and scrape up whatever we can and fight with the world and fight the forces of the world. But the last thing that any man wants to do is come home and fight with his woman. And I think that when a man continuously has to come home and fight with his woman, who's supposed to be his queen, then he's going to start fighting within himself because he's doubting his existence in the relationship, or he's doubting his purpose in this woman's life, or his purpose in general. And then that's when you have depression. And that's when anxiety kicks in. And that's when suicidal thoughts kicks in. I think that's something to keep in mind for every man and woman who is going through something like that.
I have one thing. You mentioned suicidal thoughts. I just want to say, sometimes it can kick into you getting your tail kicked because you don't push the person too far. So it's not always that he's so sad, he's so weak, or he's giving up and he's gonna kill himself. He might decide to kill you. And so that's something to keep in mind, male and female, when people are going through things. Like, be aware that sometimes if they're in a certain place, they may not even be aware of their words or actions, reactions to things that you do. And if we're building relationships, friendships, romantic, or whatever have you, that support is going to be more important than anything. That prayer, that meditation together is going to be more important than anything, because silencing the mind, elevating the spirit is really going to be what transcends it. And if you stay in your humanity, then it's going to be very animalistic.
Okay. Anybody else got something to say about that topic or anything? All right. Oh, the next thing that I wanted to touch on, because touching on something that Nathan has said and everything. I know most of us probably remember that song by Music Soul Child, "Teach Me How to Love" and everything. Most men, they grow up, they're just knowing to be protectors and everything, and like he said, some don't know how to interact with their softer side, their feminine side, which some get actually attacked for actually trying to balance out their manly side and their feminine side. So they kind of took that away. So that romantic side is never there, but they're there to be protective and everything. They're taught to bring home the bread and stuff like that, but they're never taught how to actual love. So do you think that actually affects a man as far as being in a relationship?
I just want to say on that part, I grew up without a father. I grew up, I didn't know I had a real father, like my biological father, until I was 10. And so I really grew up not knowing how to do pretty much anything. I knew how to pretty much do laundry and wash clothes and wash dishes. Like my mom taught me everything that I know now. Um, Even going into high school, college, still never really had a father figure in my life. So really, in honest ways, it does affect, what I'm saying, the man growing up. I didn't know how to love either. Um, didn't know how to talk to females. None of that. Like, I didn't know how to do none of that, but I did a trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Went through, trying to figure out the world on my own. Until I actually found my queen. It was a big type of, it was a long, long road. But I actually found my queen, and it helped me. She helped me realize like how to love and like how to actually give love and how to treat somebody. And my big brother Nate, he also taught me, how to treat a queen through spiritual ways. And like I lacked that throughout my whole college experience. And when it actually came around full circle, at the end, I'm a senior. I'm about to graduate in May. So like I just feel like, my whole 5 years of college was a trial until like I found the real thing. And the real thing just happened to come in my last semester, but it's not the end. It's not the end. This is just the beginning, and it's gonna teach me. You're going to find the good things at the end, but it's how you go from there that's gonna teach you if you're ready for the real world. So that's all I wanted to say.
Right. I do agree with Ray. I am 18, so I'm young, and so young people don't know much about love, and I do understand that. But my past relationships, I always put myself second, so I just always, try to please him rather than like what I believe in and follow my values and everything. But I just had to like they're just immature, and I just put that out. And I'm very mature for my age, and I just know I kind of know how guys are supposed to treat me, and it's just hard trying to teach them how to be more mature, being a man and everything. And I have a lot of patience, and I don't mind helping them. I really don't. But when they're not trying to put forth the effort, it gets difficult. So I try to aim for someone older than me, and it always works out. But yeah, I mean, I think you can't teach a man how to be a man, but I'll try to aim for someone that already knows. So and they they know that I'm supposed to be a queen and everything. Not to let people just step all over me. Um, yeah, just to know how to love myself, have confidence, because I do lack in confidence, but I found someone that, helps me boost up my confidence. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
Else.
On the subject. So I just want everyone to like put themselves in the situation. Imagine if you, because the original question was referencing music's song.
Yeah.
Just put yourself in a situation where you had to put on a facade every day. Take a moment, think about that. How damaging is that to you and your true self? And I feel like, unfortunately, our society does put that pressure on our men, especially our black men, to be this person, and they don't let them be themselves. So, honestly, I just thought of Frozen for some reason. Conceal, don't feel. And that's what they were trying to get her to do, and that's what we pressure our black men to do. Not all of us, but this is our society. I'm going to, as the females that are listening, to just take a moment and put yourself in that position. If you just could not be yourself, if every time you tried to show your feminine side, you were attacked by your brothers or you were attacked by your sisters for being too this, too that, and you can't even tap into that feminine energy and love your queen. Bad. No one is that.
So just to piggyback on everybody, when you said pretend, like imagine that you have to live in a facade, like that's a reality for most people. Most people really are not themselves. Most people barely know themselves, and most people have defense mechanisms that would be being aggressive or being shy, being withdrawn, always being with a crowd. Even as a woman, if you dress a certain way, you're too this. If your hair is a certain way, it's too that. Black, white, Hispanic, in between. In America, we're so judgmental about every single thing, even down to the fact if you're like, oh, you're brown. I'm not brown. It's like, but you are. You have blonde hair. My hair's not blonde. It's like, what? Or it's like, you have locks. They're not locks, they're dreads. It's natural. Like, people just get offended by everything. You have one eye. No, it's just missing. Like, it's like, dude, it's not there. It's not there. And it's okay. And we just have to be okay with just who we are, period. And one thing you said about self-esteem, like, you don't have low self-esteem. Because if you did, you wouldn't even know what you want to be treated like. You wouldn't know how to tell somebody, I'm not going to accept that. You wouldn't be able to say, I'm looking for this type of person. Low self-esteem is anybody can come in, throw a rock at you. And you're like, oh, that's what love feels like? Wow, I didn't know I needed a knot on my head. You get what I'm saying? You wouldn't bring yourself. It's just things you wouldn't do. Now, you might want to have more confidence in certain areas, develop certain strengths and things like that. And that's normal. I have clients who are like 70 some years old, and they're still growing, they're still developing, they're still finding things about themselves. As long as you're alive, you're going to learn and grow. And I think that's what we have to realize in our relationships. When you're in a partnership, you're learning and growing and evolving together. So there's going to be changes. Who you were 5 years ago should not be who you are 5 years later. And you should be able to grow and help and support each other with that. And you can have enough confidence to say, I don't know. That should be respected. That should be honored. That you're able to humble yourself enough to say, I don't know. Can you show me? Versus lying about it and it hurting somebody.
Yeah, my thing with that, going off what you said, you got to be humble enough to understand you don't know, and if you do know, you have to be able to teach someone how to do it. Like you said, the music song, Teach Me How to Love. A lot of dudes grow up not knowing how to, love is it's a big thing. It's not just a few parts, it's not just financial, it's a lot of things. So when you grow up, let's say, without a father or without how to, like, knowing how to love or show your emotions, you get a false false conception of what love is. You may watch the Cosby Show and go, oh, maybe that's what I need to do to a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or however, wherever you get it from, and then when you come to in a relationship, you do what you think is correct. Or you may be like, okay, the man is supposed to pay all the bills, blah blah blah, and you do that. But then, like I said, love is too big, just to be put in that one box. So you may be missing out on other things that you don't even know what's going on. You're like, hey, I'm doing this part. Why is it not working? So love is too big, and if you know how to love, or you know certain parts of it that another person don't, you know, don't just write them off. Try to teach them. And if you don't know, if things is going wrong for you, you just see a repetitive cycle. Sit back and be like, yo, maybe I need to learn something new. You know what I'm saying? So that's my.
I agree with everyone. Me personally, I grew up with a loving but a spiritually disconnected family. My mother is a Christian minister, and my dad was a Muslim who converted to Christianity. So one of the things that was hard for me was actually learning what love was. It's one thing to see bits and pieces of it, but when you don't see it spiritually, you really don't know what it is. I've been single for 7 years, and the reason being is because I'm pretty sure every brother in here can agree that my book, Say What Finding Love, it's not about finding love within another person. It's about finding love within yourself. And one thing that I think every brother, without even knowing subconsciously, we are drawn to art. Every brother in here is probably drawn to art in some way, shape, or form. And what I've learned is that life imitates art and art imitates life. And through just that itself, through being exposed to that, that's an expression of love. That right there is a way for you to experience what love is. I believe every black man has the ability to love, to treat a woman the way that she's supposed to be treated. But our problem is we don't know how to receive love. And I think that's the part to where the song pops in my head. Yes, we need someone to teach us how to love. And oftentimes, like a man such as myself, and I don't know, I met Ray probably last semester and we've grown close pretty quickly, but it's really hard to teach a black man how to love when he's never seen what it really looks like. And you can know how to give it to everyone. You can know how to dish it out to multiple people within respectful ways. But if you don't know how to receive it, I think that's the problem. And I think oftentimes, like everyone else here has said, if you can actually take the time to teach someone, even if it's a bit or piece of what love is, that can definitely help that man. That can definitely help that person. And I think that at the same time, love is a bigger picture than what we realize it is. It's more than a physical. It's more than an emotional. It's more than a spiritual. It's the all the above. Just those little means and bits and pieces. Those are raindrops that fall under the umbrella. And I think it's not hard to teach a black man how to love, but I think it's something that a lot of women may not have the patience for due to the detachment, like we talked about earlier.
Growing up, I come from a very loving and spiritual family. My dad was a pastor, so I grew up in church. I've seen love my whole life. So naturally, growing up, I always felt like, oh, okay, well, I watched my parents. I know how to give love. Personal experience, got married. I thought that I knew how to give love. So it wasn't until I got married where I realized that I really didn't know what love was. Our relationship was very rocky from the start. We've always argued. So a lot of times I would go to work, I would dread coming home because we stayed in confrontation. And I thought that, okay, well, my version of love is, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. You're right. And that was also something that was also a defense mechanism for me because I hate confrontation. So I'm sorry, you're right, I'm wrong. And I did that the whole marriage. It wasn't until we divorced and I was alone that I realized that I was wrong. I did not know what love was. And a lot of times through the marriage and through our relationship, and this was something that she realized too, was, as you said, a lot of Black women, they don't have patience to teach us Black men how to love. Because if they come from a family where they seen love, they have their own opinion on what we're supposed to do. So if we don't live up to that, it then becomes something that is very mentally abusive. So for me, in my experience was, if I didn't take the trash out like I said I was going to take the trash out, I was a liar. My version again of love, I'm sorry, it's my fault, won't happen again. Anytime that, she would tell me the type of person that she would want me to be, I would just automatically try to change to that person. Because I thought that was what love was. If the person wants you to change, you change. And it was very hard for me to learn that after we separated because I was very hard-headed. But, being that I had my family behind me, I had friends behind me, started going back to church because I stopped going to church. That I was able to really understand and to grow from there. And now, because we have a daughter together, so we're at a position in our lives now where we're able to talk, where we're able to go back and realize that I didn't know what love was, she didn't know what love was, and that was a learning experience for both of us. So my thing to say to people watching us here in the room is, if you don't know what love is, it's okay. Don't feel bad about it. Don't just go to your defense mechanisms and just agree with what somebody tells you. You have to learn yourself first. You got to love yourself, like everyone said. If you don't love yourself, how can you love someone else? And if someone else is trying to teach you what love is, how can you accept that if you don't love yourself? Because all they're doing is they're just throwing things at you and it's hitting a brick wall. Like a car slamming into a brick wall. And it's going to make them frustrated. And in return, it's going to make the whole relationship frustrated. So.
Do you have another question?
I'll wait for if y'all have something else. Go ahead and say what you have to say.
I'm just gonna piggyback off of what he said. But I actually just finished teaching a program called Love Me More, and the saying "you can't pour from an empty cup" stands so strong, especially in your situation. You have to love yourself in order to give love, and then even more to receive love. If you don't love yourself and know your own worth, how do you even know what is appropriate love for you? Like, it's a foreign object at that point. So take the first steps, reflection, and just love yourself before you even try to reach out and start a relationship with someone else. Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't know yourself, you're already setting yourself up for failure and demise. Like, period.
Real quick. Through listening to everyone and just me remembering the song, Teach Me How to Love, Show Me the Way to Remember My Heart. Is that what it is? Yeah, girl, I'm so lost. I think that what it comes down to is that the Black man basically needs you to teach him the one thing that he has never ever felt or been introduced to in this world, which is freedom. And I think once you introduce that, the ability to be free, to be free to be himself, to be free to love you, to be free to love the way that he is able to love, then I think you introduce him to a new version of himself that he has never met.
First, I want to say I'm flattered that everybody thinks the black woman is so free and full of love and knowledgeable, like just like off the gate. Now, yes, spiritually, biologically, historically, DNA-wise, we are the strongest being out here. We can produce a child that looks like a white, blonde-headed woman, all the way to the darkest, most chocolate, vibrant, radiating green. I went to Africa, y'all. There are people who are really blue and purple. Like, oh, that's so gorgeous. It's like black, and then like the sun hit it, and they'd be like, oh shoot, it's green like a seashell. It's dope. And we can produce that. So we are very powerful in that sense. And in America, though, that love, we say we never had love, we never had love. It's like our first love, one, is the fact that our parents didn't kill us. Because that was an option. Whether we acknowledge it consciously, there's a lot of children who never made it to breed, period. Whether they went to foster care, adoption, whatever, the parents like, you know what, no, right? Whether by choice or not by choice, that's one. Number two, you waking up every day, you breathing, so the Creator loves you. Elohim, Allah, Dios, whatever name, because there's infinite names, infinite languages, so we don't truly know the name of the Creator of all creators who has created what we are existing in, but we are reflections of that. And so that's number two, love. Number three, you taking care of yourself to some degree. So that's a love. So we do know love. But it is the action of love and how to show it. You know, how do you demonstrate this love in a way that produces harmony is the challenge. It's not so much you don't know it, because you know what it's not. So if you know what it's not, then you know what it is. But you may not acknowledge it. And then just on a technical level, there's like different kinds of love. You have a storage love, which is a dependency. It's like I'm with you because there's something I'm getting from you. There's something that, you know, you're getting from me, and we need each other. We may not be romantic, like, but we're a partner. I trust you, you know, everything good. A storage, right? It's like storage without the hate. Then you got that philos love. It's like, yo, you my homie, you know what I'm saying? We getting along, we good, we vibing, everything's peace as long as we're in agreement, you know? And then you got that eros love. Like, yo, you just fly, you sexy. Like, let me just, you know? And that's all it is. After that, it's like deuces. Call you again too. What's up? And then you got that agape love, which is that godly, unconditional love. And I think that's the love that everybody's really seeking. Is that unconditional, non-judgmental, fully accepting, encompassing. I'm there with you when it's high, when it's low. And to teach how to love is how to love in that particular unit. Each unit is going to be unique to itself. So what works over here is not going to work over here necessarily. But you have to know each other and respect each other before you can even start to love. You know, you got to be able to trust yourself and that person before you can even start to love. Because love is such a powerful thing, such a transforming thing, that if you haven't developed or we haven't developed certain attributes within, like with people I work with, one of the biggest things we work on is trust and self-acceptance. Accepting your things that you see as negative and accepting the things that you see as good. Accepting how you feel about it, and then accepting the things about the reality you're in. That's step one before you can even go into that. But to go through that process is a level of love. To take yourself through such a painful journey, to say, I'm worthy of more. And to do that with another person where you can support each other on those days when you're angry, you're sad, you're crying, you're confused, you're frustrated, you're worn out here and you come home. You know, to have that support is an awesome thing, you know. And I've been single for, I don't even know how long anymore because I just think it's dope to be single. I have a son. So I don't have a maternal need to like be like, oh, I need to procreate. Like that's been fulfilled, you know. I'm closer to 40 than 20. And little 20-year-olds be trying to holler at me. It's so cute. You know, I mean, some of them cute, though. I ain't gonna front. You know what I'm saying? But nah, but like for real. And so it's like when you comfortable with yourself, it's that love radiates and transcends to a whole nother vibration that just brings about a level of peace and homeostasis and understanding and openness to where you don't even mind saying that you might have some really nasty habits. You might eat earwax or something. You don't even mind doing it in front of that person. See, you wouldn't deal with that. I had a homegirl who would date people with stinky breath. I said, I'm not dating nobody with stinky breath. She said, you too picky. Right. So it's like, but some people say, they're like, oh, all they got is stinky feet. That's okay. Somebody else is like, no, not really. And so some people might get the stinky feet, man or woman, and try to, show them how to like repair that, get some medicine, cleanse, do things. Other people say, oh, that's cool, I deal with it. It doesn't mean that one doesn't love the other. It's just the difference in what they're willing to accept and where they're at that particular time. And I think that's the thing that we're really searching for. When he said, teach me how to love, I think it was even deeper than like just what is love. I think it was more like show me how to love you. Because in loving you, I'm going to love myself. And then allow me to show you how to love me. Because in you loving me, you're going to love yourself more. And we're just going to fall deeper in love and in this place of peace.
Okay. The one thing, because there was a lot of stuff that was discussed, which
like that one song, no music.
which there was a couple of topics that I wanted to discuss and everything. I actually been personally like I don't count anything past if I don't go past 3 months, I don't count that as a. I've been single for 9 years and the reason why that is because like the relationship that I had was seriously it was 3 years and like I actually the third year realized what I was doing as far as like he was talking about guys they have their pride and everything and they sometimes they think they know how to love and everything. I found out during the third year where she actually got fed up that I really didn't know how to love a woman like I was supposed to and stuff like that and she was trying to put up with me and then it kind of got fed up and stuff like that. So I learned from my mistakes in that relationship, but as it kind of deteriorate from like me trying to talk to girls now because I know what I want. A lot of people say the reason why I'm single now is because I'm too picky, but it's because I know what love is and I understand what love is and I know what I want and I try to make exceptions sometimes, but like there's sometimes where I don't want to fall into that trap where a lot of people they settle because they're lonely. So how do y'all feel about that? Where a lot of people nowadays are just settling for a relationship, and because like I see some girls like they'll accept their man cheating on them and everything, and they say I'll just go cheat on him and as well. And I'm like, why don't y'all just break up? In my mind, I don't say it to them, but I'm just like, why don't y'all just break up? So how do y'all feel about nowadays where it's okay just to settle to be with a person, just to be with a person?
As far as settling, I mean, I can't really say that because I never really settled with a woman just because. But what I can say is, as far as when you look for relationships, what I do know is that most people look for what the other person didn't have, which tends to lead you to settling. Like if your last man or woman, abused you or something, but then this next man or woman that you with, like, he don't abuse you, so you fall into that because you're like, oh, he really loves me because he's not like that. Because you're only looking for the flaw, something that, the flaws that the other person have and not what you really need. Like you don't look for what you need as a whole. You just look to get away from the flaws as your last person or your ex relationship. So then you fall into, someone who doesn't do the bad things before, but they may do something way worse, for like they could just be instead of abusing you, they just cheating on you every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you start, and I think some people get into settling because they keep looking, for another person without the last flaws, rather than just looking for a full love of what they need, like to, supply them and keep them happy. So, that's what I think. Oh yeah.
That's the teaching.
So my last relationship, I was in, and I would say I settled in that relationship, and I really wanted to move on because when I get in a relationship, I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? I want to learn something from him. I want him to learn. But we kind of jumped the gun too quick, and we thought we knew what love was. And I settled because I got so attached to the family. The family got attached to me because I taught their son, a lot and helped them graduate and everything. But they didn't know what really was going down, behind closed doors. Like we were like arguing all the time, and he was, making me cry. Wasn't trying to, comfort me or anything. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he'll, think about what he did, and then he'll probably change and won't do it again. Settling, but he'll always go back and do it again. And like I said, I have a lot of patience, but at the same time, it sucks that I allow it to happen because I'm waiting for him to change. So no one should ever settle if they're with the person that they're with and they don't like what they see and how they're being treated. They should just move on. Yeah, that's about it.
So my take on this is, I don't know what everyone believes, but according to my word, you are to be equally yoked with your partner. And I feel like one of the biggest things for me is, and I say this all the time, if you don't love yourself, if you don't know your worth, and you're not whole in yourself, you're not going to attract the person who's right for you. You're always going to settle. So it starts with you. You can't blame anybody else until you start to take those steps at healing and becoming that whole person. You're going to keep attracting that same negative energy, that same toxic person, whether it be, from physical abuse to a mental abuse. You're still going to attract that negativity if you don't start changing yourself.
That seems like more like a couple of $100,000, but that's okay. That's all right. That's cool. That reminds me of the book I wrote, The Man We Choose. But making your choices though, being responsible. It's like in here, there's one, the thug, right? But then there's a businessman, and then there's a job meet humble guy. So if you put a real quiet guy, but you want somebody who's going to go out here and break rules and you want to pick him out of jail because you think that makes him tough and you feel safe and everything. I'm not saying that's the best choice, but that's your choice, right? Don't get mad because you get a good dude who follow the rules. He go to work every day. He want to run you a bath. He asks you how you do. He's like, oh, you a punk. You don't care. Like, no, that's just not the person for you. Don't damage that man because you don't want him. And I don't like when women do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it be good men out here. And I was going it just be like, no. Right. I'm like, what? Yes, Lord. Because, like, women always say, oh, they did this. Don't ever take responsibility for what we do. In the way we treat these men. In the way we neglect these men. In the way we turn our backs on these men. And then when they go out to them, or the way we raise our sons. Because I'm raising a son, a lot of people tell me, oh my God, he's great. Because I'm thinking about the young lady he going to be with. And when they look at him, they say, you know what? You had a good guy. I'm like, right, I was thinking about you, girl. I didn't even know who you were. But I knew my son was going to be respectful. I knew he's going to love you. I know he's going to look out for you. My son is 9. He cooks. He can clean. Now, he's a typical 9-year-old, so he ain't perfect. But like last night, I was stressed. He was like, Mom, let me give you a back rub. Learn how to do little pressure points. I'm like, what? Because I give him little back rubs. I'm just like, I know they look, because he's like that big. And so it's just like showing him that, but also letting him know when you're not doing right, you're not being honest, there's no justification. I'm going to still love you, but I don't love your actions right now. I still love you, but I'm disappointed in your decision. I still love you, but you can't talk to me right now because I don't even know what's going on. Go pray by yourself. Get your spirit right. Go ask God to help you. He's like, okay, Mom, I'm go talk to God. He come back out. He's like, Mom, I'm done. I'm like, all right, you feel better? He's like, I think I should go to sleep. I said, awesome. So as a man, as a woman, when we're dealing with each other, it's like the same concept of just respecting and acknowledging and just being, like you said, the healing, being transparent, the reflectiveness, and at the end of the day, connecting to God. I just think that's one thing our society keeps forgetting about is God. Period. You can't be alone. You can't settle if you know what you come from. If you know you're a reflection of the Creator, when you look in the mirror, you see God in your own face. How you gonna settle for anything? You can't. You know you got a crown on your head whether other people see it or not. You're not gonna lower your head and sit with a peasant when you know you're royal. You're not. And so it's just knowing your place and knowing what you come from and knowing what you represent. And no matter what somebody else says, you know it because there's always a voice inside you called your spirit and your soul that is talking to you, but you have to hear it.
Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is basically a lot of people mistake love for lust and everything. And I know me personally, Devon, I look up to the Megan Good's husband, Devon Franklin. They put out a book called The Wait and everything. I know I've tried that like last 3 girls that I was talking to, but that didn't work out, and I think that's probably where I kind of fell. Cause I know like 4 guys that they were wild and everything, and like the girls that they just met. Well, it's not just met, but the ones that they actually married, they actually had that agreement that they were going to actually wait, and like their bond became strong because they didn't end up having sex before marriage and everything. How do y'all feel about do you feel like that is what actually corrupting some relationships because they don't actually wait form that not even saying before marriage, but that wait to actually form that foundation as a relationship, build up that friendship first. 'Cause like a lot of people say they marry their best friend, and like a lot of people don't actually build that friendship first. They just jump into that what they think is love, but it's lust, and then build up their relationship from there and everything. How do y'all feel about that?
Everybody want to talk about
Alright. I was celibate for 2 years. And when I came back to school, of course, the journey kind of fell short. But now it's living again. And I think many people don't realize that the act of waiting, because I've read the Ron Franklin and Megan Good's book twice. And the act of waiting it's an art, and it's meant to be taken seriously, but at the same time, it's meant to be taken lightly because you're gonna fall short because it's a journey. It's a journey, and it's an act of getting to know yourself and to getting to know your partner if you're being celibate with your partner. However, your question is there is a difference between lust and love. Lust is the attachment, whereas love is the connection. And I do believe that 2 people should wait before marriage, before attaching that part of themselves. And I say marriage, quote unquote, because as a spiritual person, I don't believe in this society's version of marriage. Whoever came up with the idea of signing paper and having to put a big diamond ring on someone's finger and call that marrying someone, I believe that's false. Marriage is the connection between 2 souls who worship God together, who are being connected to the Most High, to a higher source, and who are grounded. But at the same time, they're able to live their lives separately and together while experiencing freedom. That's marriage to me, not a piece of paper or 2 rings. But I believe if 2 people are able to strengthen that connection to that point, then once they are married, I believe the attachment is okay to follow suit due to the fact that you've already laid a strong foundation.
That reminds me of God's addiction, but so sex before marriage, one, I'm not even going to propagate. Like, I waited until I got married to have sex because I have a son. And I'm currently not married. And I think, by choice, I started having sex when I was 14. But not by choice at 6. So there's people in society, I think we have to examine, some of our word choices. When I used to go to church, like the church I went to, I go to a different church now, but it was always weird growing up. It's like, wait till you're married. That's the one thing you have to give. And I'm like, oh, dang, I don't have that. And it wasn't because I chose not to have it, it's because somebody chose that they wanted it. You see what I'm saying? So I think we really have to be cautious with how we word that, how we say that. And it's not just girls who go through that, boys go through that too. And we have to be cognitive and compassionate. Not necessarily sensitive or understanding, but just compassionate to the reality that that's not something that everyone has a choice in. And then sometimes people make a different decision. But when you make the choice and you're cognitive of your choice, I agree with you about it's a spiritual connection. When we have sex or intercourse with a person, it's your spirits are combining. So you start picking up different traits, different facial expressions, different phrases, and you're trying to figure out, like, your friend's like, yo, why you walk like that? You lean like that. You smile like that. Now you laugh different. You done got that person's spirit in you. So if you out here loose, you done picked up so many spirits, and you picking up the spirits that's on them, and it's coming in, and people are like, oh, I don't want to think about that. Or no, that's not real, but it is. You can't say you believe, if you're Christian, you can't say you believe in God, Jesus, angels, demons, Satan, devil, Lucifer, your parents in heaven watching, all these different spirits, but you don't believe you got a spirit in their spirits. You know what I'm saying? You Muslim, you talking about the jinns and everything else, but ain't no spirit. You walk down the street, there's a ghost, but you don't believe in spirits. It's like you can't pick and choose this type of thing. You got to recognize the importance of your spirit, guard it, and then allow yourself to combine with somebody who you deem worthy of combining with. And so in that regard, I would say it's more important to do that than to use any type of term to define the union of two souls or spirits who have decided that they want to join as one. So that's how I see it.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I got something. My view on this is totally different from all y'all's. So we can have, yeah. As far as sex in a relationship and becoming a friend with someone, me is you have to know what you're going in it for. Like, if I start with anybody, I'm coming in hoping that it's gonna be a long-lasting relationship. Like, just coming into it, that's just how I view anyone I take out on a date. Now, as far as the sex part, it's like I've had women where we didn't have sex for a while, but me personally, I lose attraction far as the lust part. Like, if you become like my best friend, like, oh, you know, a lot of guys or girls are like, yo, that's my bro, that's my sis, but like, are you really that close to be like bros and sis? Because like, if I am cool with a girl and I know her and like I just know her, I don't even want to have sex with her no more. That's just me. Like, I got women like that. In my life that, you know, I'm just cool with. And like, I started, you know, I was physically attracted to them. That's why we started the relationship. But I just know them on such a deep level to where I don't even want the physical part from it. You know, I enjoy the friendship part. So for me, you gotta be having sex. I mean, and plus it depends on, you know, as far as just the dating part. For me, like, you know, taking women out on dates and stuff like that, you know, spending money and stuff, like, I mean, this may cause an uproar, but, you know, like, after a couple of dates, it's like, you know, we both invested in something. So if I put we both invested in this. So if I'm investing in this and hoping for a relationship, me personally, in order for me to keep the lust part of me wanting you, I gotta have sex with you. I'm just gonna be real with you. If we like just friends for too long, then I'm not even gonna be thinking about you like that. That's just me. So
I have a question for you. So you said like if you friends too long. So I hear like two things. So is it if you respect her too much, you don't want her no more?
no, it's not even that.
What is it?
It's been
Help me
girls-
understand.
It's been girls that I had sex with on the first date, and we ended up being like 5 years. So it's not nothing about. To me, sex doesn't mean like, oh, I respect you less because you did it this time. You know, I can know you for 4 months and then finally get it and not want to talk to you no more. You know what I mean? That don't. To me, the sex don't really mean nothing as far as like how much I respect you or the relationship wise. For me, specifically, I need the sex to keep.
Like
to
a
keep the
hunter.
interest. Yeah,
Almost
to
like
keep
a
the
hunter. You're
yeah,
like,
to
you
keep
know
the
what?
interest
I
going.
thought I wanted some salmon, but it's not biting. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this flounder. You're like, what? A whole bucket? I'm good. I'm
Yeah, I mean, like so
like, cause you gotta eat.
yeah, I don't mean like I'm just jumping, looking for, for like sexual partners. Like I said, when I date someone, I'm in it to be there. Like I don't just take a girl out specifically to only have sex. Like if I'm taking you out, then I mean, even if we do have sex, I'm hoping that we can have sex forever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just like a one time thing. I don't intend to like try to have one night stands. Yeah, for me, like I think sex is part of making sure the spirituality goes to where it needs to go. That's
I'm gonna say, I respect your honesty. I really do though, for real, because a lot of brothers wouldn't say that. And I respect that you said something where you said whether you had sex with the young lady on the first day. First, you used the word young lady, so I appreciate that. On the first day, stay with her for years, or 120 days in, and it don't work out. It's not based on that. And so I really do appreciate that. And then something else you said that people might not have caught. You separated your romantic relationships and interactions from those people who are more like a family. And I think some people don't do that. They're like, yeah, this is my cousin. Then as soon as they leave, they in the back seat, they at the house, they doing all type of things. Then say, but it's my cousin, And you really made a defined line, like, nah, this is my people right here. So if you was dating and those women were around, you could emphatically say, like, nah, these are really my friends. And so I really respect that, and I appreciate you sharing that perspective.
Okay. As far as because Acquilla actually mentioned something that I wanted to touch on as well. Not sure if she wants to touch on it as well, because like I had a other friend, because we talked about this when I was actually talking to her. I had a friend that was sexually abused as a kid and everything, and she had a workshop and everything with other people that actually were sexually abused as a kid or raped and stuff like that. And I noticed with their partners, like they're defensive and everything, and like some of their partners, they had to learn to develop and understand their personalities and stuff like that. As far as the men and the women, and because like it can go either way for people. Like, how do you feel about like finding out that your partner was sexually abused and stuff like that, and trying to actually be patient? Because like we talked about being patient with them, and because like that's kind of hard with some of them. Because like I know with my friend, like she said that that's one of the key points of like forming a foundation and having that person understand what's going on with their lives and everything. So how do people feel about that as far as people just having sexual abuse as a kid and stuff like that, and going into that relationship?
I think that, well, first, my family and my parents in foster care, adoption growing up. So I've come across a lot of kids, some young adults, even older people that were abused as a child. So first, I'm gonna start off with just the building a relationship with them in general. It's hard because for them, they don't know what you're gonna do, especially when it's just you and them, because of the things that they've been through. Now, whether they have been getting help for that is another story, but that also depends on how the relationship is going to be once you start it with them. But having the patience for that can sometimes be very, very difficult, because you may have the best intentions in the world and you are trying to help them, but in their eyes, it may not come across that way. So if you know off rip that you can't handle that type of relationship and dealing with that type of person, it's best for you to, okay, this is getting to a point where I just need to back off because I can't deal with it. Now, to go into it with a relationship, in my past, I've come across a lot of females that were raped as a child. And first finding that out, for me is always difficult. Because again, it always touched home for me for, being around it my whole life. So for me, I've always been the type of person where I've had the patience to deal with that and helping them cope with it, helping them realize, whatever it is that they needed help with. I never want to go into a relationship, especially knowing something like that and knowing that they're still damaged by that. Because us just jumping into a relationship is, first of all, it's not going to be healthy for either one of us. Because if we ever do get to a point where, we do and are going to have sex, it's not going to go the way neither one of us wants it to go. Because as soon as, we start, you're going to be so scared where you're just going to stop. And if I'm not the type of person that's going to be okay with that, it's going to cause problems. But again, I've always had the patience in dealing with that. So my thing has always been, well, first, how have you dealt with that? What can I do besides whatever you've already done or haven't done that I can help you? Because at the beginning of all this, I want to be your friend. Before we do anything, before anything goes further, we need to be friends. And it's going to take patience from myself and patience from you for you to learn how to cope with this. Because if you haven't gotten any help for this, then what is the first step that we're going to do to build? What are your problems? What are your issues? Talk to me. Do you know what they are? And a lot of times it's them growing closer with someone. They don't know how to do it. And on the flip side, I've met some that they've been raped, and the only thing they know how to do is give sex before anything happens. Because in their mind, they're thinking that what the person comes into this relationship, that's the first thing and the only thing they want.
Hey, this is Nola Ada, and you are now rocking with ILL McKenzie, right here.
Yo, what up, Word? At 504 Detroit. You already know every Tuesday and every Thursday I'm tuned in to the hottest radio station across the land, Quarantine Radio. They push it down and they play all the hottest new music. Let's get it.
It's your boy Gabe, and I want to give a big shout out to Quarantine Radio. Make sure you check them out every Tuesday and every Thursday. And thank you for supporting my new single, Down Low.
I want to hear that new soul-free wisdom on Quarantine Radio.
Yo, what's up, man? It's the Kid Swift, a baby, Young Swift. One time for the check-in with my dog, my homie, ILL McKenzie, straight out of ATL, Georgia. And you know how we rocking out here, baby. Let's get it.
Being humble, get no respect.